What if I told you that you could make pizza that tastes better than any pizza restaurant that you can ever find? Intrigued? Well, stay tuned because today I'm going to teach you how to make the best pizza that you will ever eat. Welcome to Glisten's Culinary Delights, everyone. I'm Glisten, and today I'm going to teach you an amazing recipe because the Super Bowl is next week. How many people are excited? Super Bowl is amazing, and if you have a team that you're super excited that you want to win, I'm excited for you. Hopefully your team wins. If your team didn't make it, then sorry, but you still got to watch the Super Bowl, right? So I am more of a person that likes to watch the Super Bowl because of the parties and the food. So because I love food, the Super Bowl food, I love to make new recipes for each time the Super Bowl comes around. So this time I'm going to actually think of pizza. Now this week is also National Pizza Week, which is awesome that it kind of coincides. So today I'm going to teach you how to make my top 3 best pizzas that you will ever eat. So let's get started on our pizza dough. All right, so my favorite part of a pizza is the pizza crust because duh, carbs. So we're gonna make a butter pizza crust, and this is mostly for like a Chicago style pizza. I love the crust, so I like to make deep dish pizzas, but this can be modified if you're a thin crust person. You can just use less of the dough to make your pizzas, and so you'll yield more pizzas with this dough. But the dough that we're gonna make should yield you 2 pizzas. So this is like thick pan crust pizzas. Or 3 if you're going to make thin crust. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use some bread flour. And the recipe for this will be down in the description. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, definitely do so because I have a lot of good recipes. And if you're not into making pizza for the Super Bowl, there's other recipes on my site that you can go and make some easy things. I have like some chicken wings that you can go. I'll link that here that you can go and watch, and that's an easy thing that you can make in your air fryer. So put your bread flour in. So then you're going to use some cornmeal. And I just have white cornmeal, but you can use yellow cornmeal too if you have yellow cornmeal. Some yeast. This is rapid rising yeast. And then some salt. And then you're just gonna use a whisk and whisk that all together in the bowl of your stand mixer. All right, so the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get some melted butter and some room temperature water. And you're gonna mix those two together. And then add your sugar to that mixture. Mix, mix, mix. Dissolve some of that sugar. All right, then we're gonna add our dough hook onto our mixer. It's all on there tight, and then I'm going to add in this mixture to that mixture. So set your mixer on low for now, and just slowly pour in your yeast butter mixture. Sorry, not yeast butter mixture, it's sugar water butter mixture. Alright, so you're just gonna let this go for a couple of minutes until it all combines and the sides are clear. Right, now once you see that it is there's no more flour mixture hanging around, we're gonna turn up our mixture to medium and let it go for 8 minutes and just leave it. Alright, and that's 8 minutes. So I'm gonna take this out now. We have one more step and then we're gonna let this rise. Alright, on a mat with a little bit of flour, you're just going to dump out your pizza crust in the bowl that you just used. In the bowl that you were just using, just get a little bit of olive oil and drizzle it on the inside of that bowl. That's going to keep the pizza dough from sticking. So you're going to put it out onto your mat with a little bit of flour, and you're just going to knead it for about 30 seconds until you're forming it into a ball. So kind of fold it in on itself just for a few seconds. So now, as you see, I have a seam down here, but it's like perfectly smooth on the outside. We're gonna lay it seam down in our bowl. So we've got a perfectly smooth ball. Seam down in our bowl. Drizzle the top a little bit with a little bit of olive oil. And then we're gonna cover this with a towel and put it in a warm spot. All right, so you're gonna let that rise for about an hour and a half until the dough doubles in size. I've got my dough ready here. Now I always say, when you're rising things, put it in a warm place. But if your oven has a proofing setting, that works super well, and I feel like it proofs a lot faster than it would if you just left it on your countertop. So here we go. Here we have our dough. It is humongous, as you can see. This is 2 batches, not just one, because I'm making 3 types of pizza today. So, but you can just do the one. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna punch it down. And since this is 2 batches, I'm going to half it, and we're gonna do 1 batch at a time. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it out on your floured surface that we had from before. Then you're gonna get your rolling pin. I'm actually gonna get a little more flour. All right, so you're gonna get your rolling pin. Add a little flour to that too. And we're gonna make a rectangle with this. Now this is a butter crust, so if you don't want a butter crust, then you can skip this step, but I promise you, this crust is going to make your pizza amazing. So we're just trying to stretch that out so we can get a rectangle shape. All right, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but we've got a semi-rectangle. Now you're gonna get butter, and we'll do about 4 tablespoons of butter. And you're just going to spread this all over your dough. Leaving a couple inches on the sides without the butter. All right, there you go. So now we're going to do just from the bottom, and we are going to treat this like we would a cinnamon roll. So we're just going to roll the dough and try to keep it as tight as you can. All right. And then we're going to cut this in half. Now, as you can see, we've got some nice layering there. This is going to be perfect for our crust because we're going to get some nice layers in our dough. So now we're just going to form these into a ball. Grab your rolling pin again, and we're going to roll these out into a circle to make our pizza dough. Make sure to keep your surface floured so it doesn't stick. There we have it. We have a circle for our pizza. So now we're going to, my secret recipe on how I make pizza super crispy at home without a pizza oven is I use a cast iron skillet. So if you don't have a cast iron skillet, I suggest you go out and you buy one because they are super awesome. I have a link to the one that I use down below in the description. But I use my cast iron for everything really. But the pizza, it makes it super crispy on the outside. So that's what we're gonna use for this pizza dough. So let me get my cast iron skillet. I usually like to warm it up a little bit so that way it's warm on the bottom so that you get a nice crisp crust on the bottom as well. So let me get that going and then I'll come back and we'll get this first pizza put together. So like I said in the beginning, we are going to do 3 types of pizza with this lovely delicious pizza dough that we made. So I'm going to make, these are kind of adult versions of pizza. So if you're having a big party for people and you want to have some for kids, then you can just make this into like a pepperoni or a cheese pizza. Otherwise, you can make these 3 types of pizzas, and these are my all-time favorite types of pizzas. So the first one we're going to make today is a pollo fundido pizza. And if you don't know what a pollo fundido is, head over to this video. They are super delicious and I've made them before, and it's like one of my all-time recipes that I always make. And so head over to that video, watch that video if you don't know what a pollo fundido is. Otherwise, we're gonna make a pollo fundido pizza. So let's get that cast iron going and then we'll get started on the pizza toppings that we're going to need. All right, we're gonna work this really quick because we have a lot of things to do for the 3 different types of pizzas. So first thing you're gonna do for the pollo fundido pizza is you're gonna get some onions and some green bell pepper with a little bit of olive oil in your pan, and you're just going to brown those until your onions are translucent. It should take you about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, so now that that is ready to go, I'm just going to get a little bit of minced garlic and let that go for another minute or so. About a tablespoon of minced garlic. Now this topping is enough for multiple pizzas. If you just want to make just the pollo fundido pizza, then perfect, because this is more than enough. All right, so we're good to go. Let's get that pizza put together. All right, so you're gonna transfer your dough to your cast iron. And it's perfect size. It just goes up the side just a tiny bit, and that's totally fine because you're gonna get a nice good crust that way. All right, first things first, instead of red sauce, we are actually gonna use jalapeno cream cheese, and that's what makes a pollo fundido. So if you don't know how to make jalapeno cream cheese, I do have a video of it on my channel, or you could just go watch my pollo fundido video, and that tells you how to make that jalapeno cream cheese. So you're just going to spread this on your crust like you would if you had red sauce. All right, make sure you get a good even layer on the bottom of that, but you also want to leave that crust free of sauce or cheese or toppings or anything. So make sure you leave that open, nice even layer. All right, so next we are going to do our cheese. Now for this pizza, I like to do a mixture of the Mexican style cheese and mozzarella cheese. So you're gonna use both of those on your pizza and just put as much cheese as you like. If you like it super cheesy, then add on that extra cheese. Again, make sure you're avoiding that crust. All right, the order of these toppings doesn't really matter from this point on, but do what you like. So here I have some cooked chicken, just little sliced up pieces of chicken that I cooked up earlier. You can use any type, even like the stuff at the store that's already cooked if you want. It's better if you make it yourself, but nobody's gonna shame you if you use already cooked grocery store chicken. All right, so then we have some tomato that we're gonna sprinkle on. All of these toppings are optional, obviously, except for the chicken, I guess, and the cream cheese sauce, because then it wouldn't be a pollo fundido. And then you're gonna scoop some of that onion, bell pepper mixture, sprinkle that all over. Onion, bell peppers, and garlic. As much or a little as you like. All right, so we're gonna stick this in our oven at 425 for about 20 minutes, and it should be ready. And while this is in the oven, we'll get our ingredients out for our other pizzas. All right, let's get our next crust going so we can make our next pizza. Our next pizza, which is actually a loaded baked potato pizza, which is so good. All right, press is done. All right, let's get to our red potato pizza. So this one, we're going to actually make some caramelized red onions for the baked potato pizza, and it's gonna be so good, I promise. So this step is important. So get your red onions, cut them super thin. I just used half a red onion, and we're gonna put them in our pan with a little bit of olive oil. So now I need to just add some water to this mixture, and then you're gonna do a pinch of sugar. And that's it. So you're just gonna cook these until they're nice and soft and like brown. And that water's dissolved. So I put a pinch of sugar. Now I'm gonna do some salt and pepper. Just a little. Onions, so brown, so beautiful. Those are gonna be perfect on our pizza. So we're gonna set these aside and get our potato pizza ready. Oh, and there's our pollo fundido pizza out of the oven. All right, and we're back. So we're getting our potato pizza. So you're gonna make sure that you put some oil down, about 1/4 cup of oil in your pan. And then we are going to use some olive oil as a base instead of a sauce. So get your trusty olive oil, drizzle it around that pizza. And then you're gonna use some minced garlic. This is minced fresh garlic. You can use the jar too, but I use the fresh stuff. And spread that around your crust. Now the key to this base is having a good olive oil, and then the minced garlic makes it so good. So now that we've got that, we're gonna add our cheese next. This is just some mozzarella cheese. As much as you like. Now we're gonna add some bacon because it wouldn't be a loaded baked potato without the bacon. And this is partially cooked. I cooked it, but it's not completely crisp because it's gonna cook a little bit in the oven. And I didn't want it to burn. All right, that's done. Now we've got our caramelized onions that we're going to spread across the pizza. Again, this is to your taste. So if you like a lot of onions, do a little, a lot, do a little, whatever you like. And then last but not least, we have a red potato. And so I like to cut them super thin into super small pieces because you want your potatoes to cook in the oven and you don't want them to be hard when you take them out. So that 20 minutes has got to be enough to cook that potato. So you want to make sure that you've got thin, small slices. It's a red potato, so we kept the skin on. All right, so we're going to put this in the oven, 425, 20 minutes, the same as the other pizza. Set a timer for 20 minutes. All right, on to pizza number 3. While our baked potato pizza is in the oven, we are going to get started on our steak dinner pizza. Now, this is my all-time favorite because it is so delicious. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat up a cast iron skillet. I'm just gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. Then you're gonna get a cut of meat. You can use a beef tenderloin, you can use a sirloin, whatever you've got on hand. You don't want something super fatty like a ribeye, but like a tenderloin or sirloin would work perfectly. You're gonna season both sides with salt and pepper. Make sure to give it a really good seasoning on the outside. All right, and this is pretty simple. You want your pan to be really hot. It's smoking. It's perfect. So I'm going to stick it on in my pan, and I'm going to let it cook about 4 minutes per side. All right, that's been about 4 minutes. Flip it over. All right, so here's where we're going to add a little bit of butter in our pan. We're gonna add some herbs and then some garlic. All right, we got some butter, some garlic, and some thyme. And we're going to baste our meat with it. All right, so that's done. 4 minutes per side. It's all brown. So I'm gonna take it out and let this rest. All right, our baked potato pizza is done. So I'm gonna show you what to do. This one has a few other steps after it's done. Same with the pollo fundido pizza though. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get some butter and we're gonna brush that crust. Because it's just gonna make it even better than it already is. Brush the sides, brush the top. Next, this is a loaded baked potato pizza. So we are going to do a sour cream drizzle, and then we're gonna do some fresh parsley on top. All right, let's get to our last pizza. This is the steak dinner pizza, and it is gonna be delicious. So we're gonna do the same thing we did to the baked potato pizza. We're going to do a olive oil drizzle for the base. Then we're going to add in our fresh minced garlic. And you're gonna use some of the herbs from your pan that you cooked your steak in and just sprinkle that as well. Make sure you spread it well. Get that garlic all over the place. I've done this before in a hurry and like the garlic has not been spread. And it just turned into a big like garlicky spot on the pizza and it wasn't very good. So make sure you spread that garlic. All right, a few of those fresh thyme. All right, so for this one, we are going to also do mozzarella. And I'm gonna add a little bit of pecorino romano. Just to switch it up with just a tiny bit. Oh, sorry. So it's Parmigiano Reggiano. Then we're going to get some spinach that I've just chopped into thin little strips. Pile it up because that'll shrink down. Alright. So I know we have our steak, but we're gonna do our steak on here last because we're gonna have some nice, delicious, medium rare steak pieces on top of this, and it's gonna be so good. But we're gonna put this in the oven now for the same as the others, 425, 20 minutes. All right, so we got our steak pizza out and we added our steak onto it, and it's looking divine. So let's get tasting. Okay, so for our baked potato pizza, we have one more step. We're going to add a drizzle of sour cream on it. Oh, come on. I want it to take it. All right, so we've got our drizzle of sour cream. Now we're just gonna add some of that fresh parsley on top. Ta-da! All right, so we're gonna do our taste test. I don't know which one I'm gonna pick because they all look delicious, but I think I will try the steak one because that one just came out of the oven. All right, just make sure you have a piece of steak on it. Oh yeah, that is so good. That's amazing. All right, thank you guys for watching. We did an amazing job today making 3 different types of pizzas. Make sure that you look down in the description to learn how to make that pizza dough because you can make that pizza dough and make any type of pizza that you want. These are just the top 3 that I like. So we've got our pollo fondito pizza, we've got our loaded baked potato pizza, and our steak dinner pizza. Now, make sure to like and subscribe because I have more videos coming out, and have a good National Pizza Day and a good Super Bowl. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.